sure you've heard the quote, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Perhaps you've also even heard the full version of the quote by Oscar Wilde, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Mediocrity can pay to greatness. Of course, this makes me think of Socrates. How deeply kind he truly must have been to put up with the amount of people who followed him around and copied him. Of course, there were people following him around wanting to talk to him all the time. And there were the unwilling people he met in conversation in the street who were not interested in talking to him at all. Him and presumably this crowd of people that followed him everywhere. In his defense speech in Plato's Apology, he talks about how these young men would not only spend all their time with him if they could, also practice his way of speaking on one another and whoever they happened to cross, but they couldn't quite do it as well as he could, so they were even more annoying than he was. But they so admired what he did that they kept trying to imitate it themselves. I think the funniest examples of this are in Plato's Symposium, where you have both Apollodorus, the narrator of the story, and Aristodemus, the kind of secondary narrator of the story, who both follow Socrates around all the time. Apollodorus says that for the last 3 years, he's made it his business to know what Socrates does and where he goes all day, every day. Very cute. And then we get into Aristodemus, who's actually recounting the events of the symposium, being a bit older. And he, not only does he follow Socrates around like a puppy, but he also copies his mannerisms, specifically being barefoot. Socrates famously won't wear shoes unless he absolutely has to, and sometimes not even then. Aristodemus copies this. He's described as a short guy who never wears shoes. Do we think he came up with the idea to not wear shoes on his own? I don't think we do. I think he copied Socrates. And now, I don't know about you, I would be so annoyed if someone did this to me. I'd be like, I need my space. I can't have someone walking 4 feet behind me everywhere I go. Socrates is so nice to him. He's so nice to Aristodemus. Aristodemus isn't even invited to the symposium, but Aristodemus meets Socrates looking oddly dressed up, wearing shoes, notably, and he's taking a bath, it says. And Aristodemus is like, where are you going? You look so nice. And Socrates is like, oh, I'm going to Agathon's house. Do you want to come? And Aristodemus is like, I wasn't invited. That'll look so bad. And Socrates is like, no, it's okay. You should come with me. I want you to come. So they go to Agathon's house together. Socrates gets distracted by a thought, and Aristodemus ends up there alone. And there's this whole awkward moment where they're like, you weren't invited. That's a story for another time. And then when the symposium is over, Socrates gets up to leave. Aristodemus had been asleep. And it says Socrates went off to do what he always did, and Aristodemus followed him like he always did. Man, what a guy. What a guy. Now remember, everyone should be thinking about Socrates every day. If you've watched this video, this counts as your Socrates thoughts for the day. You're welcome to have more though. I'm going to, at least.